Hello and welcome to another video with myself, Rev.Arlene C. So those who have been following me for a while, whether that be on Instagram, here on YouTube, and especially those who just know me personally, they know that I have two boys. Well, actually, they're more closer to men now, 20-year-old, almost 18-year-old. Almost 18-year-old in August, but that are on the spectrum, and then they also have other diagnoses that they have attached to their autism diagnosis. So often I find, and it's not something that I really do consciously, I guess I could say, but it happens, where I find that I guess in my way of interacting with people or trying to help communicate with people, I do tend to maybe always come from the lens or the perspective of as if they were also on the spectrum. Only because I do find that a lot of the skills and strategies and techniques and tools that I learned in helping to support my boys really help support everyone. So even though I'm gearing this, or the focus is with those who are on the spectrum, or have other kind of diagnosis that impact how they process information, it really is open. It's probably, it's still an open strategy for a lot of people, even though that is where my technique and learning comes from, is helping to support my boys. So something that has been, again, rising to the surface and showing up in my realities, is, just again, ways to support. And I guess especially too with, here in Canada, it's the last month of school, right? And there's only a few more weeks left of school, and then the kids are off on summer holidays or summer vacation until school starts again in September. And this is a really trying time for them, and for parents too, right? For the caregivers. But it's really a lot for them. It's, there's this part of them where it's like, coming back to my mixed martial arts days and stuff like that, they're tapping out. They're like already kind of done, right? But especially those who are older too, there's a lot that there's like a lot of struggle and uncomfortableness that comes right now with it being near the end of the year. And especially for those who thrive on routine and schedule, a lot of times that is up in the air right now, right? Because of the fact that schools do tend to try to make things a little, lighter at this time of year. It's a different routine, it's a different schedule, and that really throws them off, right? It really throws off those who need that structure and that routine. And for the last so many months, they've been able to kind of rely on that schedule. They knew, Monday meant this, Tuesday meant this, Wednesday meant that, and so now that that's not really happening, it's a lot for them, right? Also knowing that summertime is coming, so as much as it's nice to maybe not have to go to school and stuff like that, but at the same time, that routine is off. A lot of are going to camp, right? So our camps are different, family outings. So there's so much level of uncertainty and discomfort, like I was saying. So it's understanding to try to keep that in mind when planning things for your children, or for those on the spectrum that you are taking care of. It's about giving them a lot of notice when you can, right? Building a lot of notice in them, helping them, share their own, views and opinions, like making them part of the conversation is really important, so that they feel like they have a say, or that sense of kind of control over it, right? And as much as, yes, we know control is an illusion, but there's aspects of it, little things that help ease the discomfort, right? So even something as simple as being able to do small tasks with success eases people. It eases them. Something small, something they can do. If you give them that little task, it helps build that confidence and trust in themselves that they're going to be okay and that they can do this, right? So giving them those little moments, those little kind of distractions in a way too, that help them feel focused, help them feel that they can then do more, right? So it's those little things, often too, especially when my boys were younger, I would have little tasks, little things in the car, so that they could be focused on that, right, and help them. I used to have, when we would go out to restaurants, right, I try to often let them know, like, hey, we're going to be doing this in a few days, and preparing them for what that would look like. But then I also had to have certain things with me when we would go to these restaurants, right? So we had like little cue cards made where it said, please wait, now it's quiet activities. And I would have to bring things with us as well that would keep them occupied and focused on that, so that they weren't so overwhelmed by the noise in the room, the fact that food would take a while to come to the table, right? And certain things like that. Of course, you can't plan for everything, but it's in building those little bit of skills, those those little strategies that then help them to build that foundation within themselves, so they learn to kind of regulate their emotions in themselves. So that was just something that it felt important to bring up right now, especially with, as much as, like, yay, summer, and we have this time off, but it can be a lot for them because they are so used to that routine and structure of their everyday that when that is taken, it can be very overwhelming for them, and they don't realize that that's what's happening. They don't realize that that's what's setting them off, is not having that routine, even though sometimes they'll get frustrated with having schoolwork and be like, oh, I'm so tired of school, right? But they don't realize how pivotal it is to their everyday functioning and feeling like they can function and have those supports. So this is just something to think about, to play around with, and just to observe and see how maybe right now their stress levels are a little bit higher, right? They might, have struggled with sleeping right now, their food habits, everything. There's just little things that will change in them. For those who are caregivers of spectrum children, they have their stemming. You might notice that them doing their little bits of stemming a little bit more, right? Needing more of that quiet time when they get home, or needing more of that, sometimes with my boys, it's needing to be on their technology for a little while, watching random stuff on YouTube. Sometimes they need that to really decompress, right? And as I said in other videos too, is understanding that often when they are at school, it's like they're performing in a way, because they're doing the best they can to be as present and full in the experience when they're at school. And then when they get home, that's it. They just can't anymore. But because they know that home is their safe space, right? And that's what you want for them. You want them to feel safe at home, to feel that this is the place they can be themselves without judgment, without the fear of being unloved. So these are just things to think about right now, especially with this time of year for children, for young adults, anybody really, but mostly those who are on the spectrum, because this is just from observations that I've had for many years. Like I've said, my oldest is now 20, my youngest is almost 18. It's been a lot of observations, right? And also observing others, and working with a lot of staff, like that I've worked with my boys. Like, I mean, like, we don't work together, I'm not like, professional in any way. This is just a parent who's been the observer and who's had a lot of conversations with my sons to help me understand them as best as I can, and to be the best support system that I can for them, so that they feel that they always have a place to come to, that they will be heard and seen and be given the opportunity to talk about whatever they want to talk about. So again, these are just little things, little strategies, tidbits, tools, suggestions that might help you in supporting your young ones, whether they're on the spectrum or not, and others in your life right now. Because as much as we like to think of summer as a fun time, it's a big change, and it's a lot for them, and it's a lot for you as the caregiver and the adult in the home. Thank you so much for being here. Of course, as always, I'd love to hear any comments, what you're struggling with or dealing with, or if this information has helped you, and it's opened up your eyes to another perspective of where just another lens. Again, you are so loved, surrounding you in love. You are loved, you are seen, you are safe, and you are whole. Until next time.